All right, so hello everyone. I'm Jon Kerr here, social media director for the Glencoe Grand Prix cycling race, and welcome to another edition of Between the Spokes. It's our interview series here leading up to our race on June the 1st. Today is May the 16th, so we're like 16 days away from the race, and really excited to have our guest this week who just confirmed officially. I checked the registration, bikereg.org, and I saw Erica Allar on our registration page. Yes, with C.A.R.E for Cycling. So you're coming to Glencoe, huh, Erica? Breaking news.
Yes, breaking news. Myself and two of my teammates will be making the trip to Glencoe this year, which is really exciting.
Yeah, give us the names of the other two teammates who will be joining you here.
There's Jessica Prinner, who is 20, and she actually is from South Elgin, Illinois. So that's really cool.
Local?
And then
Okay.
there's Lenore Pipes, who is a PhD student at Cornell University, and she's from Guam.
So just taking a little break from her PhD studies, huh?
Yeah, just for the weekend.
Just for the weekend, right? Because she's probably got a lot of studying to do, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're excited about having just another great day of racing here. And before we talk about Glencoe, I want to chat with you for a few minutes just about what a great season it's been for you and for C.A.R.E for Cycling. As of this interview, we're coming off Tour de Grove, where you were victorious and wearing the winner's jersey out there, and you're sitting in first place in both the USA Crits and the NCC point standings. Talk about, and this is a switch for you. I know this is your first year for C.A.R.E for Cycling as well. So talk about what it's been this year for you. What's been the difference, and how have you been able to get all these victories and race so well?
Well, I mean, you're older, which means that I think maybe I'm a little bit more mature. I've put a lot more training effort in, maybe a little bit smarter too. But I think the biggest difference is that I'm a little bit more focused. Last year was a little bit more scatterbrained when it came to my training and what we were trying to do. Not to say that I didn't put the effort in. I just, worked a lot harder in the gym this year. And did a lot of stuff off the bike that I think is transferring over really well. And it's really exciting actually because we started the season. It was pretty good, but I hadn't won a race for the team until Athens, Georgia, the Terrapin Twilight, and I was getting pretty nervous because things just weren't quite coming together. I had gotten really sick after the Delray Beach Twilight, and then ignored it and tried to train through it and put myself in a huge hole. And then we traveled cross country. We drove. So I wasn't really able to take care of myself as well as I needed. So going into the Presbyterian crit, I was pretty much not where I needed to be. So it was a little frustrating, but we bounced back and have had a great season since then. So that's good.
And one thing I want to make sure that our viewers and listeners know, you are currently at home, correct? And where is home for you?
I'm at my parents' house in Fogelsville, Pennsylvania.
Fogelsburg, Pennsylvania. Now, for anybody who maybe isn't familiar with Fogelsburg, Pennsylvania, what part of the state would that
So
be?
it's eastern side of Pennsylvania, about an hour 15 northwest of Philly.
Okay, so everybody's sort of Philly versus Pittsburgh when
Yeah.
you talk about Pennsylvania. So, and you'll be there through this weekend, or what's kind of coming up next for you before you come to Glencoe here in 2 weeks?
Yeah, so Jesse Printer and I we're both here at my parents' house until this Saturday. We're going to race the Wilmington Grand Prix in Wilmington, Delaware, which is an NCC event. And then we travel from there to North Carolina to do a couple of days of training in the mountains. And then from there, we go to Chattanooga for Road Nationals.
So a very busy couple of weeks here before so you'll be coming to Glencoe straight from Chattanooga, from the Nationals in
Yeah.
Chattanooga. Before we talk about Glencoe and finish up, I want to ask you about C.A.R.E for Cycling, because one of the things I know that is very important to you and so many women cyclists is your mission. And that socially conscious message that you use cycling as a means, as a platform to sort of get out a greater message. So talk about what C.A.R.E for Cycling is all about, and what is the mission of your race team. Besides
Um,
winning races.
right, winning races is just sort of a cherry on top. What's
Yeah.
really exciting is that our goal is all about making cycling more safe, fun, and fair for everyone. And so instead of it just being one specific mission, there's kind of these a handful of different things that we focus on. So our team director and the founder of the nonprofit is James C.A.R.E, and what he does is he coaches athletes for free, and in return, he has those athletes visit elementary schools and other organizations during the summer to talk with kids about the importance of wearing a helmet, exposing them to just the general sport of bicycle racing, eating healthy, being active. Even now, because both Lenore and Jesse are in college, and I went to Penn State, which had a cycling team, we talked to them about how you can actually get cycling scholarships when you go to
Mm.
college, and just try to bring a general awareness to safety and cycling in general. But beyond that, Jamie works specifically with women because he's really focused on equality for women in the sport. And we also do things like call in debris on roads, like when we're back home training. If there's a lot of broken glass in the bike lane, we'll call into the Arizona Department of Transportation and we'll say, hey, there's a big mess over here. Can you please clean it up because it's unsafe for cyclists? And just try to create equality not only with gender in our sport, but also with cyclists and cars. And so there's a lot of different aspects of care for cycling, and I think it's really exciting, and it's a little bit humbling because we're not just bike racers, and I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, that's a terrific message that I think you're talking about. And you think about, the day of our race on June 1st here in Glencoe. Your colleagues, Primal, Matt My Ride, and Nikki, Wangsward. They're going to be hosting a women's bike clinic here, and speaking at some local schools. Last year we had the Now Novartis girls, or the team from Now Novartis speaking. So, and then talking about bike safety to young kids. And I got a sense that that's something for you is, hey, you don't necessarily have to be a professional cyclist like me, but there are so many benefits of cycling, and help to promote just all the physical well-being, and just the overly just health aspects of the sport, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, obesity and weight is a
Right.
huge topic of conversation in the United States right now. And, we don't expect to change 20 people's minds about getting out and getting on a bike. But if one kid goes home at the end of the day and says, hey, that's pretty cool, I want to start to ride my bike more, or, because we do focus heavily on the importance of wearing a helmet when you're riding. If we change the minds of two kids to say, hey, it's not actually uncool to be safe and wear
Right.
a helmet, then I find that we're really successful. And it's small but mighty, is what
Yes.
I say.
Well, but one biker at a time, right,
Right.
Erica? And I think I do notice even biking around here in the Chicago area. Of course, we've had a very challenging spring with the weather here, but I'm noticing more and more young people out wearing their helmets, whether it be around the schools, on the city streets, and starting to become bike. The weekend that we have our race, schools are just getting out, so moms and dads are thinking about taking the kids out, right, on sort of long rides. So it's always good to have that message, but certainly now with school getting out and kids doing more, out of school activities, the timing would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember being a young kid and getting my first bike and riding it through the neighborhoods to go visit my friends and stuff like that. And it's just a really good mode of transportation
Right.
for someone who's young who can't drive. And I think it's right around that age when people get their permit, their driving permit, that
Yep.
they sort of lose sight of what the bike really is capable of providing you. In terms of just not just health benefits, but transportation. And if we can get someone interested in being on their bike, that's awesome. And that's, we're accomplishing our goal, which is cool.
Well, before we wrap up here, Eric, I've got to ask you about Glencoe last year. I know, everyone remembers what a great finish it was last year here. You and Laura Van Gilder with Mellow Mushroom. We had some phenomenal weather last year, and you guys just kind of what a terrific finish. And Robin Farina as well, who is with Now, and she was the national road race champ at the time. And just what are your memories of last year's race, and just the course at Glencoe, the people at Glencoe, just kind of the whole community aspect of the race?
Well, it was the first year that I had actually participated in the event, and I was really impressed with the amount of spectators and the amount of stuff that was going around to keep, bring people in and get them interested or excited about the race. I personally loved the race course. I think it was technical and challenging, but not overly so. The weather, with the way that the wind was blowing and stuff, my team director told us how the race would play out, and it was exactly like you said. So I was able to kind of go in there with a bit of an edge, I think, over the other women. And it was a really exciting race. It was hard because it was a tailwind up that really
Right.
hill area, and so you sort of every lap just had to prepare to be redlined pretty
Yeah.
much up that. But I think that I feel like last year I went for it. I attacked Laura, knowing that she was a hot competitor for me at the time, and entered the last turn. And I actually skipped my wheel a little bit, and I lost a fair amount of momentum. So I feel like maybe if that, I might have still lost had that not have happened. But super excited to have walked out of there with a second place, and with people like Robin Farina and Christina Goki-Smith with Now Novartis and all the other girls that were there. Beating those larger teams when we have a smaller team, smaller elite team is really exciting for us. So we're looking forward to coming back this year. There'll be three of us this year, and hopefully it goes well again.
Yeah, I think it was about half a lap, as I recall, that Laura kind of got you there on that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, half a bike length. Excuse me, on that last.
I couldn't quite recover from it. I hit her pretty hard in the tailwind coming into the final turn, and just it was enough to throw me off. So
Yeah, a little bit of a gap there, and you went for it, right? And she just kind of caught you there at the end. So no, we can only hope that we have that kind of weather, and that we have the same type of finish that we
yeah,
had last year.
I agree. I would be. We've raced in the rain a lot this year. The weather has
Yep.
been less than stellar in a lot of different areas. So great weather. We're definitely looking forward to it.
Well, we've already signed a big check to the weather god, okay, Erica, and just ensured that we're going to have 70 degrees and sunny and clear or something on June 1st. So, well, before we finish up, Erica, just give our audience where they can find you on Facebook, on Twitter, on the web, and yeah, where can everybody learn more about Care for Cycling?
You can go to either careforcycling.org, which is currently under construction. So if you do visit the website, just bear with us while we sort of remodel. And then C4 Cycling Team is our team website, and you can also find us at facebook.com/careforcycling.
And on Twitter?
We do have a Care for Cycling Twitter. It's that's the Twitter handle, but we don't really use it that often. It's not something that is very yeah. We're not quite there yet.
Not
We
quite
have
there yet. Don't have a master tweeter out there
yeah.
who's
Race
who's tweeting
time.
happenings. Yeah. Well, thanks, Erica. Hey, have a great week at home. Enjoy some at home cooking. Okay,
Absolutely.
and we'll look forward to seeing you here on June 1st. That's Erica Allar for Care for Cycling. Thanks for joining us here in Between the Spokes.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye bye.